Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe, and I have Sharon here with me today. We are going to continue picking up our suppressed history discussion. We've been all over the place recently, um, and we're going to continue to be all over the place because we're kind of just trying to let the water flow where it's going to flow. And it has been really, really good because we've come across things, as you guys all know, that have been pretty daggum profound. So, Sharon, welcome back. Thank you for being here, and let's have fun. We're going to squirrel again tonight, y'all.
Totally. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Where do you want to start? I mean, it's just been a fascinating couple of weeks. We were both kind of busy.
Yep.
My
I was
gosh.
out. You were chilling, and
Yeah.
you got busy, and I got busy, and yeah,
Goes.
even crazy stuff this week too. So,
Well, oh my gosh, look at there was all those new images on the US debt clock.
which we went on vacation and I unplugged. I don't pick up my phone or anything.
Well, thank
So
goodness our
I was like,
special friend managed to get some of those
yeah, I know.
for us.
He's been great, which, by the way, you know who you are, and next time I see you, I'm going to try to get you, buy you a dinner or something, just something. I don't know. We need to get together and just kind of spend some time talking through some stuff. So,
All
anyway,
of us, actually.
that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe we can figure out maybe the next Bitcoin conference or something like that. That'd be kind of. I didn't go last year, and I kind of wouldn't mind going this next year, and we'll see. We'll see what the year
I'm
has.
kind of all about it, like a beach somewhere with a little umbrella cocktails.
You know what? I'm good with that. Trying to, what's it called? Little Bay. Oben. It's very, very yummy. Anyways, I continue. I digress.
So, yeah, and then Ingersoll Lockwood.
Yeah.
It changed a lot of stuff, but there was something very interesting. Why don't we go over to Ingersoll Lockwood, and then we'll go to the US debt clock.
All right, let me push the right buttons, I hope, and get the screen sharing here. There's that. We need to cover that maybe too. This just dropped as well.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. So, Ingersoll, if I can spell it. There it is. Sorry, y'all. I've been sick little ones and all kinds of stuff. It's been a little crazy here at home.
Life has just been happening all the way around. Okay, so do our famous little click and get the white stuff because there's things in white.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
No rest in peace. Oh, there's two links there. That's a link. That's a link.
Yeah. So, but if you go exactly. So, and then.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna. How do I do? I'm gonna change the share, and I'm going to go just that because I want to open multiple tabs. So hang on, y'all.
Okay.
I can only share one thing at a time, which is kind of weird, I guess, but what they can do with the technology. There we go. Right. Let's open tab. Open tab.
That's the one up there. That's Trump's speech about the violence, and that has to end.
There can be no code.
Okay.
So we've seen that before, but we're back to the credit union stuff again.
So interesting. So get into a credit union. Is that what they're saying?
Oh, yeah. Because remember, banks and credit unions operate differently because credit unions are member owned. So now we're kind of going like back to like the founding fathers with private member associations.
So yes. So here's.
And
so
look at
I
that.
saw this. This was, I don't know which link click. I just opened a bunch of them.
Right. That's the three dots. That's one of the three dots.
So this is, who's in this picture? Do we even know?
That I couldn't tell.
Who is she and who is she? And then who is this dude? And then who? I mean, he's wearing a freaking Hawaiian shirt.
Right.
Guardians explain how the Guardians explaining how the Space Force controls ATMs. And then realizing no one would have access to the money without Space Force satellites, which is, if I'm not mistaken, tied to Elon Musk's. Didn't he respond to this?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. So there you go. Your money's gone anyways. So credit union locator. That's also interesting. Now I am going to have to mute my mic while I pull these up because that's a song and that's a song, and the video got pulled from YouTube. I don't think it'll get pulled from Twitter or X. So listen, guys, forget about the YouTube links. go over to X, go over to my account over there, and subscribe to me there. And if Sharon will set up an account, we can maybe stream it to her account as well, because I can stream to multiple locations. And maybe we can get that going there. So this one is The Wind in the East. This is Do Something, Matthew West. So I'm gonna close these out. So we've heard those before, but it will kick the video. And
one of those links, before you even hit the button, somewhere in there, it's going to play a Johnny Cash song, because I already looked, and it's Ring of Fire.
Interesting.
So they're playing. Okay. In fact, it's the Red Sea. So the Red Sea is Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. So they're playing that song. So
yeah, I see the title there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I went down in a burning ring of fire.
Yeah.
But it has to do with love, and this love is a burning thing. Love is a burning desire. So it's kind of interesting that they picked that song. Oh, wait. Go back. What we got? So there was an image on the U.S. debt clock, because our special friend and I were like, that looks familiar. Where have we seen that? And it was actually, I think, in that video that you just played that was on the top.
This is another Abraham Accords. Y'all don't forget those. That's Trump's signature.
Right. And that was put on, that was like last year. So they're bringing some of these back again for everyone to become familiar with.
Well, that was this 20 right here too.
Right.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right. So those aren't links. So see how it's all hidden, y'all? All right. So these are 2 links, by the way. So don't just, no rest in peace, no rip. So, okay. So we have this guy here, CIA declassification of Henry Kissinger's State Department records.
Now that's going to go along. Okay, but that's going to go along with the no rest in peace. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're giving you breadcrumbs.
Yep. So do your digging, y'all. And then there's a PDF here. Every time I open a PDF, I'm always a little hesitant, because you can bury, being in IT, you can bury stuff in PDFs. But anyways. National Security Study Memorandum. What is NSSM 200?
That was his population genocide.
Kissinger.
Mm-hmm.
Kissinger report.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this document can only be declassified by the White House. All right, so it's been declassified. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? No, it's not. There's no
redaction.
No,
they're showing it in full. And in fact, when you click on the no rest in peace, read the address. Remember, the URLs are also information.
That's the CIA declassification. So the address is archives.gov, press release 2016 NR 16-46.
Okay, so that's going to be their actual archived address.
Can you find his approved eugenics plan?
Oh, they did have it in there. Okay.
Interesting.
Can you find his approved eugenics program? So they want you to dig. And remember, everything about Ingersoll Lockwood is for you to go and read it yourself. It's for you to go and find it.
Not designed for them to show you. They're literally saying, go look here, go look here, go look here, go look here.
Exactly. It's not even for us to go. We can kind of say, hey, you're going to discover it along with us. But who are we to tell you? Because you're going to get it filtered through our filters. And then are you even, you're going to see something different than we are.
Everybody is. The whole point of looking at this, we said this right before we started here, when 2 or more gathered together, I am there. That's talking scripture, right? So it's going back to, we're being led, we believe, divinely for this stuff. I mean, how in the world did we go even down the path of finding the hospitalers and what they're doing and y'all, we've been through this. How they're doing the declarations, how they're doing the documents and the notices to the banks, and they're not just picking this bank, that bank. They're literally going to the board, chairman of the board, the controlling entities of those companies, and saying, you are on notice. Guess what? You're done. And then the way that the specific choice of words, the specific litany, the specific the seals, the signatures, blah, blah, blah. You and I have been through this. I'm just putting all this out, right?
Absolutely.
How in the world would we have found that stuff had it not been by divine divine.
Yeah,
leaders,
something
right?
just told me to go find that document to
And
share
then,
it. It took me to the
we didn't
second.
even finish reading it because I
No.
was like, hang on. What is that? So, anyways, I digress. So this is interesting that they're actually saying, "Hey, go look at this. Kissinger just died." Yes, while I was out. Well, yeah. So,
but look at the date.
When? What date?
December 10th, 1974. The actual document you had pulled up there.
So this is old. So he's been trying this for a long time.
This agenda.
It's been in play.
Now, the Club of Rome, and this is something I have to find it, but the laurel wreath that you see, like the laurel that they would wear, that's for the victor. So that is a symbol of Rome. So if you go and look now,
Yeah. That's
all right.
That's right. Yeah.
What organizations have the laurel wreath?
The UN, and I don't know what else. I mean, the UN.
There's a lot of them that are under the control of the Club of Rome, which goes back to the Committee of 300, which
the Queen, and now,
which and there's like a nosebleed section above that, I call it.
Well, there's one that's even outside the stadium. That's the stupid. I call it the blimp. They're the guys you don't see, don't even know they're there, because they're part of that 200 angels that came here and destroyed creation. Why God flooded the earth? I think this is their prison, y'all. Right. They're the ones pulling the real strings.
Book of Enoch, and then it was also in the resolutions that it's calling out. In what resolution was that? And it's also in the latest one about the game of the gods and the night of Svarog.
So let me grab that. Hang on, if I can push the right button. I'm sorry, y'all. Hang on.
That's what happens when you do it live.
We're just exactly. You just hang on. Where did I? You know what? Hang on. Let's do it this way. And let's try again. This button and then this button. There it is. I think. Nope.
There we go.
I'm not on that anymore. There we go. This is the most recent. This is decree. You're talking about the game of gods, based on the end of Game of Gods. So I will let you do this.
Okay, if you make it a little bigger for me, please. There we go. All right. So this was issued December 5th, 2023. So this is very recent. And you will find this on the World Sovereign Bank or WSBOH or Monetary One. And then there's also another site. So they are creating redundancy sites.
Right. So there's a ton of documents. The very first document, and I do think I know it's Basel III. We just had a meeting with the banks and at Congress. Basel III. Y'all, you need to understand Basel III. I've read this a long time ago. I need to refresh myself. You guys need to read the Basel III. So you need to understand, because they're coming in and they're enforcing this UN registration. UN's not exact. Anyways, we'll.
So I would recommend, I'm with you, y'all, you print out that Basel III, because banks must be Basel III compliant, because funny thing, guess what? Banks don't want to deal with a particular currency at all. The dinar.
The dinar. No one wants to do the dinar.
Why?
I contacted my bank trying to get them, and it's not one that's. I'm not going to tell anyone what it is. You and I can have a conversation offline, but it has nothing anyone's going to know of. We'll put it that way. They are not touching it.
Here is somebody, a dear friend of mine. He goes here, and when he said it, it reminded me of a book which I have to find. It's called The History of Zero. And it was something about a bad idea. Okay, now when you start understanding and become aware of the history of zero, I was like, when he started telling me, now, if this theory, and I really like this hypothesis, how are you going to get all of those Federal Reserve dollars out of circulation?
You have something that's a big sponge like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency or gold and silver that can absorb it, that doesn't care what currency it is. It's just going to take it.
Or you have a currency, because remember, James Rickard wrote the book Currency Wars. So what are you going to do? You're going to have something look so good that they're going to like, all right, you have been messing.
Oh, yeah, your CBDCs.
No, the dinar. You're going to have people go and try and purchase dinars. Okay, so they're going to purchase dinars. So now they got dinars. They want to go get the dinars for gold because they'll be gold backed. So they're taking, what is a dinar? And this is an interesting theory. The dinar is at 0.001 or something like that.
It's small, yeah.
So if you want to get rid of zeros,
yeah, sure. You go the
you're
opposite.
doing away with the zeros. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the history of zero.
Interesting.
And then when you know, and I have to find that book because if I remember correctly, the idea of zero originated in that region.
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay.
It was I don't know if it was Arabian or something where they discovered not discovered zero.
They
but
created the idea of zero.
Yeah.
Now we also have Kubla Khan's mulberry paper money system.
Which was what caused all of this crap. I forget what year that was. We talked about a couple shows back.
Yeah, it was a couple shows ago. So now we have this idea of they have this currency that once it comes into parity. So if you're purchasing something at 0.001, think about like what we do with cryptos.
Yeah, it's the same.
The same idea. Okay, so, but you're dealing in a physical rather than a digital. Okay, and I was like, oh, this is
now.
For now, we don't know. We have no idea because it's interesting because the monetary one is like cryptos and blockchain. No.
It is no. However, they do leave room for anything that's compliant or registered or approved by them, which means
it's backed by gold.
It's backed by gold. So there are cryptocurrencies that are backed by gold. I don't know to what extent, but if they are indeed that way, they have to be proved. But the thing is, though, is cryptocurrency as it's designed, you could take Bitcoin and back it with gold. I mean, you would need everyone to get on board with that, but it's not impossible.
I don't know. So this is going to be
you can buy gold with it.
Right. So I'm thinking we're watching the U.S. debt clock where they're talking, gold. Gold is coming, the golden treasury. Yeah. So to get
which is what these guys talk about.
Exactly. So the whole thing is that you have this system that is just, my God, I swear, it's like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Oh my God. Blah! And I was like, y'all, the sky is not falling.
No.
It's going to collapse. It's going to be blah. I was like, no, it's not going to. It's like, yes, it's going to collapse.
Yeah.
Like, no. Okay. So if you want to do something smoothly, you're going to create an attraction to something in the physical.
Yeah.
So let's go to the dinar. Oh, you can't know the dinar's bad. Dinar bad, dinar bad, dinar bad. Or dinar, however you say it, is bad. Well, some of us are kind of like, really? Every time you said something was bad, it ended up being really good. So guess what? Let's go over there.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have people because they need to deal in the physical. So I'm thinking this is more of a tactile psychological.
Probably it is, yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of cash first, and then flip the switch, let the bottom fall out of whatever's going to fall out of wherever fall out, and then people are going to go, now what? And then you've got the saving grace, and that's where the whole thing is. Saving grace, is it? Because if the CBDC crap actually takes place, that's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
Now, the U.S. Treasury being under the control, as we know, by Donald Trump. I don't know how true that is, but there's a lot of information out there that would suggest that it is, documents, things like that. But then again, these guys coming along, did they send a note to the Treasury? I think they did.
No, it went to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, that's not the Treasury. That's
right.
The banks.
They sent everything to the banks. Now remember, Trump is doing penance according to these guys.
Yeah. Which I think him running was part of that. He didn't
exactly. He didn't have to run, but he had to because he's doing penance, or there was like that really bad kind of thing.
We covered that on a couple of shows ago.
So, and it's in the Bible. Fear not the first death, but fear the second death.
Yep, that's not a good.
No, and so it was like, So we're looking at all of this because I'm like, so now we're getting people to get interested, and it's like, oh, I'm going to go and get this because here again, $1 equals 0.001 dinar.
Whatever
it is.
Yeah.
But can you imagine now when the dinar comes into parity?
No, people are going to have tons of cash just because of that.
Right? So people that are going to the dinar, the banks are going, holy crap. Now what? Okay, well, let's see.
You're not letting people get anymore. I mean, they can't tell. I don't think they can tell you no, can they? Because how are they going to know that whether you're going there or not?
Right. So it's like the dam. It's like the little boy trying to stick his finger in the dam, and it's like, no, it's gonna blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of this is really cool. So here, we'll go and read this decree that was recently, filed here. So by the right of the supreme sovereign, by the right of the sovereign. So we have to remember by the right of the supreme sovereign, by the right of the sovereign, because we are all children of the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And we were created as sovereign beings.
Mm-hmm.
So the illusion, which we'll go into because I found a document, is really kind of our own making, along with a little help.
I was going to say we're kind of coerced into it.
Exactly, but we're coerced.
Sure.
Okay. So it's like, oh, and then everybody's like, oh, what are you talking about? We'll talk more about that one because this one's anybody who's familiar with Synergy or Sabrina Wallace. Yeah, we're going to be calling her out. Okay.
Sure.
So shout out to her.
I have watched some of her stuff. I haven't watched anywhere near as much as you guys because it come down too quickly and it's just, anyways.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a safety net. So I'll get you over there.
Yeah.
So
you can see give me that one. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to go back over this. Sorry, guys. See, this is why we tell you we're going to squirrel off. We always do.
The joys. It's so much fun.
It is. It's fun. Based on the end of the game of the gods and the transition to the all light, all heavenly, divine law of creation. Okay, so we have to remember that the divine laws are never man's laws.
Nope.
Never.
All God's laws. Natural law. Natural law? Is that how it's called?
Well, it'd be universal law, natural law.
Yeah.
Okay. In fulfillment of the sacred mission of the sovereigns of Svarashik. I think that is.
Svarashik. Yeah. Shik.
Regarding the restoration and creation of heavenly systems in all earthly and heavenly spaces in fulfillment of the divine law of creation. So all earthly and heavenly spaces.
So it's everything.
Everything. The space that you occupy in space, the space between your cells.
The ether. I like to call it the ether, or the space between space, which is highly energetic, by the way. This is what Nikola Tesla tapped into. And
by the way, the stuff that Sabrina Wallace is getting into, we'll actually touch into that too, but
I've seen some stuff where they're bending light around things. The whole Black Panther thing where they hit a whole civilization. That wouldn't be too far-fetched for if indeed Tartaria is still here on Earth, and they just decided to disappear because they were tired of dealing with stuff.
It's just bending light.
Exactly.
I mean, that's cloaking devices. Cloaking devices were nothing more than bending of light. Yeah. And people are like, oh, that's a bunch of BS. You're so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you're an effing idiot.
You can bend light. You can bend light. People are like, how do you know? It's matter. Light is actually matter. People don't even realize
it's a frequency, so it's a wavelength. So now you can take and think of it as a sine wave. And so
in freaking calculus, I don't math, okay, y'all. I don't math. But when I was doing calculus, like I was like, what's this cosine, cosecant, all this stuff? I was like, what in the world? And then all of a sudden I get out into my field and I start building circuitry and all that kind of stuff, like literally soldering things together and putting the nodes on, reading the frequency, and I was like, oh, that's what that's for.
If I had been told that about
right, had I been told that, I would have been like, okay. Anyways,
oh my gosh,
I digress.
We both do. Okay, so we hereby proclaim, immediately stop all criminal, bloody, violent wars and any types of terrorist and military actions directed against bright humanity as the united people of the world. Okay, so this is going to tie into, we'll segue into the document that I have that will tie this all together. And then we're going to it's going to flow really cool. It's really awesome.
Okay.
So all of this, they're telling to stop. Immediately stop the actions of any anti-human. Okay.
So all of the whole, we'll call them the Fauci outfees or the cookies.
No, emerging technologies of transhumanism.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Any anti-human, anti-social, that's your C40 cities.
Okay.
And anti-people ideologies, that's, okay, the white people are bad. Any type of people, anti-people ideologies directed against the divine law of creation and against the light, harmonious, true creative development of light humanity as the united people of the world in universal love and harmony with the almighty kind and nature.
So this is talking to everything that they're doing right now or trying to do right now, y'all. Very interesting that they're proclaiming that this stops. They actually speak with, I guess, again, you cannot, the wording, you've got to understand legalese. I'll put it that way, since people understand that word. Understand the legalese. Even if you go through and study a little bit of Black's Law Dictionary and the definition, how things bounce over, they have different means, different things, words capitalized specifically for different reasons, y'all, you need to understand the severity, not severity, but the impact or the authority in which these documents have. It's not a joke.
No, and you have red seals. Red is for the living person. Also note on which side of the page. Is it to the left, the right, the center? All of that. This is all styles.
We were not significantly.
Absolutely. And David Wynn Miller in one of his videos said most Americans only read to the second grade level. They were not taught styles.
No.
They were not taught how to write correctly or even quantum syntax grammar.
Which is an entirely different realm by itself. I looked into that when we talked about it. That's both language and math at the same time. Anyways, I'll digress. David Wynn Miller does a really good job. What did he do? The Constitution, he went through and he made it mathematically correct, front, forwards, and backwards.
That's how every document should read, forwards and backwards, so that there is no mistaking what the meaning of the document is.
I wonder if these are mathematically accurate.
I would probably guess that yes.
I wonder if there's a way to find out. That's just where
somebody who's really, 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 really good with quantum syntax.
I wonder if there's an AI engine that could do it. Maybe
that is going to be their fear.
That would be. I might try something like that. If any of y'all want to try that and who have more experience with those engines, let me know. Let's have some fun with this. Because that would be curious to find out. Because if they are, whoa. Anyways, I digress. Continue.
All right. So we have that of the natural world. So I need you to. Let me
no, we didn't do that.
Immediately stop all intentions of the doctrine, plans, and actions directed against the family of the highest kind, bright humanity as a united people of the natural world. Recognize outside the divine law of creation and outside the law, land, air, water. Immediately abolish and prohibit any legal capacity of the so-called Roman law, Admiralty law, and Jesuit law.
Anybody understand what the Admiralty law is? Some of y'all know what that is, but there are I spent some serious time looking into that. I actually read Universal Commercial Code or UCC law, which is Admiralty law. That's there's not a business in the world that does any kind of commerce of any kind that doesn't use that law. The thing is, though, is that somehow, somewhere along the way, not somehow, there is a specific, anyways, the birth certificate stuff, that is all tied into admiralty law. That is why your daggone birth certificate is a bond and it's traded on this different whatevers and all that fun stuff. And they're telling you this is done. It's over.
Right. And the
part with the divine law, not the admiralty law anymore. The Jesuit law, that's
okay. So you got Roman law.
That one's
right.
I've heard Roman law.
Okay, and Jesuit law. Jesuit law. Oh God, if I can remember, because does it have to do with Vatican I? But there was who I'm trying to remember who talked about the Jesuit law.
You don't have to right now. I can look.
I think it was Jordan Maxwell.
Okay.
Okay, but admiralty law, they're doing away with it because it became the criminal cartel. So admiralty law is the law of the water. It is commerce. So what did they do? They took their ships and brought them inland. All right. And created, now you are you are a foreigner on their vessel.
Citizen, city states. Yeah, citizens too. City states, yes. You're a citizen of the city state.
Right. And so all of a sudden the post office, okay.
There's two technically at each location.
There's the post office is also the bank and the courthouse. So you have, right. So they were all right in there. So this whole admiralty law thing is just a bunch of shenanigans.
Well, there's a reason why they took a patent out on a voting system utilizing blockchain technology that the post office did. But anyways, we'll talk about that another time. I think we did.
It's there again. Did you see that?
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you didn't. Remember, it didn't. Okay, guys, we're freaking out. Sorry.
I ported.
Okay, so
whatever. Before, and it did that, and then last time it was like sparkles or whatever.
And then we had fireworks.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what it's doing. Anyways, whatever.
We're getting okay. So if anybody, I keep saying, I think it's like a person of interest thing. So whatever is listed, they're like, okay, we're giving you a thumbs up. We're good. You kids,
you're a person of interest. It's on my screen, not yours. That's kind of weird.
Well, you're the host.
Well, that shouldn't matter though.
Hey, dude, I'm just dialing in. You're like, hey, I'm going to invite you in. So you're like,
if I leave, you're running. That's how it works.
Oh. Oh my God, it's too funny. So anyway, all right, let's get back to this. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry, recognize outside the law, divine law, there we are. Immediately abolish. Okay, we got that. So recognize outside the divine law of creation and outside the law, immediately cancel and prohibit any legal capacity of the so-called confession of Judaism and any organizational and confessional trends that are manifestly or secretly included in the structure of the so-called confession of Judaism.
Now, for me, from a biblical standpoint, so a little background on myself. I don't really talk too much about it. I was home educated, and part of my home education prior to being allowed to graduate high school, I had to go through a systematic theology course. It took me 2 years to complete. And I studied significantly in depth the various different, we'll call it theological points. The one I particularly liked was Wayne Grudem's because he gave you all the different denominations and then his perspective. And then he literally left it to you to decide which one you agreed with. And it was never here cramming it down your throat kind of thing, which is great. But anyways, I'll digress on that. But Confession of Judaism, the word Judaism in and of itself, like the whole, like, to me, that's saying that something somewhere was changed, words were changed, words have different meanings, and something now tied back to even the Jews. We can talk about that one later. There's the real Jews, the Israelites, and then there's what we have now. And then you have the Gentiles. Then you have the 144,000 elect in Revelations. There's a lot for me to unpack with that particular paragraph, and I'm going to go back and look at it later, but that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, by the way, law, all caps, guys, is land, air, and water. Just remember that as we're reading through here. That's what it means. I digress. Sorry.
No worries. That's why we have so much fun.
Yeah.
In pursuance of this regulation, all international and state counterterrorism law, legal law enforcement organizations, all military organizations of the World Army, all valid orders, all masters of world systems, all masters of the world financial systems, all international and state control organizations, all missionaries executing the sacred mission before United All God, all creator, all creative, giver of light and knowledge to the world, all world spaces, Yahweh, Nave, Slave, and Purave. An execution.
Is that like land, air, water, space?
I'm going to assume so. All world spaces, Yahweh, Nave, Slave, and Purave.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. An execution, all the light, all heaven, all divine providence in this great divine vision, all great cosmic forces, all divine armadas, all divine fleets, as well as the great fleet of the Ra, immediately begin to implement this decree in terms of its full fulfillment.
Divine armadas, divine fleets.
Battlestar Galactica, baby.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I'm like.
Okay. To all light humanity and all international subjects of law, organized on the basis of the heavenly principles of democracy and observing the heavenly principles of democracy, the World Council of Sovereigns strongly recommends that they carry out a procedure of self-organization in their country in order to manifest the supreme people's power of the sovereign and return the sovereign status of their homeland for the light, peaceful, and creative development in universal love and friendship in entire world space. The World Council of Sovereigns recommends approaching the issue of self-organization at the system level competently and according to the light. The World Council of Sovereigns wishes all countries, all kinds and tribes, all nations of the world, of all bright humanity, as soon as possible, restoration of our lighthouse under the sovereign flag and the sacred name of the motherland in universal creative construction of our light world as the universal mother temple.
Now that makes me wonder, like we talked about bending light, is there an entire place on the earth that we're not aware of?
It is said,
has been hidden in plain sight because we literally can't see it. And bending light, I'm wondering if there is legit, like, keep going. I'm just throwing that out there for y'all to think about. Like, I wonder.
The Ingersoll Lockwood pictures.
Yeah, that, and then did you know that in China that people can literally get blankets that are bending light? They're become invisible behind it.
Yeah.
That is like, you can, a normal citizen can get that there. We can't, because I don't know why, but whatever. You really think that we don't have that kind of technology on our planes and our freaking subs? I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not there. I digress. Go ahead.
World Council of Sovereigns confirms its statement and further impartially and truly to carry out its light purpose of recovery of justice and building the all bright, all heaven systems that must and will by faith and the truth serve to bright humanity and therefore to the all God, all creator, the all creative kind of the all high as the one all heavenly, all God, all creator, all creative of all that exists and all that does not exist in the creation of the all light, all great, all heaven. This decree is declared by the right of the supreme sovereign and by right of the highest sovereign. This decree enters into force from the moment of its signing.
And there are your signatures.
And their seals.
So that is a Major General of the USSR.
And it's read for the living person.
Sovereign International Consumer Cooperative, Light Great Russia.
And that one is now, I think that's black. No, what color is that? It's purple?
Maroon? Maybe?
That's a different color, so it's not black.
That's black. That looks
Does it?
blue? Like a dark blue? Navy blue?
I'm not sure. That's definitely a different color. It's not black.
Okay. It's Her Highness.
Oh, it's purple. Royalty.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Purple. Mm-hmm.
Chairman of the board. And then we have, Her Highness.
And that's in red. Living person.
World Sovereign Bank of the Order of Hospitallers. His Highness, David, General Manager.
But notice, like, they're on different sides. So we have a styles thing going here, and I am unfamiliar with when it comes to these seals like this. This is like a big deal.
His Highness.
Mm-hmm.
Media platform. We covered that.
Yes, the Raw platform.
Mm-hmm. His Excellency. And then His Majesty, Alexander. And all of his seals. He not only has 3 royalties, he has 4 golds, and he has 2 reds. I don't know, y'all.
This is crazy.
Every time I read one of these documents, every time there is something about them that is just like otherworldly. I don't know how to put it. Just the feel I get it. Like,
well,
now, so that's French, that's Russian, that's English. So you can read what their order says, what they're to do, and how they're supposed to do their stuff. You can. There's UN registration, by the way, that matters. Not in a bad way, for what it's worth.
It's showing it's legitimate.
Yeah, the Central Bank of Hospitallers. You can daggum right click is disabled. Okay. I can't even right click and click the link to that to show you what, anyways, to pull it up in a different tab. Notification Federal Reserve, Notification Bank of China. They're not kidding around. These are not, they're
Bank of America. And what's interesting is, like, these banks that are getting notifications, most of them won't even talk to you about the dinar.
No, they won't, even though they're supposed to. They're supposed to. These are the resolutions that they're going by. This is a banking license to Mali, banking license to Mongolia, banking license to
Guinea.
Guinea and
Angola.
Angola. I can't say certain words. I'm just
it's all right. No big deal.
So yeah. Decree of TWCS. I don't know what TWCS is. The World Council of Sovereigns.
Yeah, the World Council. Yeah. Cool. So this is getting bigger. Now, what's interesting is, like we say, otherworldly, because our friend, hopefully he put it up there for us. Let me see.
I'm on the wrong app. Hang on.
Oh, shoot.
Which one? The most recent?
Well, there was one that he put up.
From the debt clock, you mean?
No, it had to do with the Mandela effect.
Oh, I saw something about that.
Yeah, he's got it in there. New debt clock image on our little group. And it had to do with the Mandela effect.
Hey, guys. Sorry. Let me pull that down, and then I can...
Because I noticed something on the girl's belt, which that image was very similar to something in the video on Ingersoll Lockwood. I was like, wait a minute.
So down here?
Yeah, it's on her belt, and he blew it up, and it's like this kind of vial. It's got like 2 rings on it.
Galactica thing. Hang on.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But the whole thing...
He sent that over too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I got it. Oh, yeah. He really blew it up.
He did. He really did. I was like, are you able to blow that up? He's like, oh, wait a minute. I asked him, have you seen that before? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, there's something familiar, but neither one of us could.
This is what's on the belt.
Now, there was an image that was in Ingersoll Lockwood's video, that's where I was like, wait a minute, is that the same thing? And it was on, they were playing, it was in their banner video. But what's interesting at the top of this, okay, so it's got like a disc. Okay. Like Mandela effect. Now look at the Earths.
They're flipped.
Uh-huh. So you have like upside down world.
That's one of the reasons why I think with our 17th friend, we'll be careful because of wherever it's at. Mentioned what's up is down and what's down is up.
Now
a lot actually.
Exactly. Now there was an image previous to this one that talked about CERN and how they were doing things to tear holes in reality. And they're like, oh, it won't be back. Well, the thing is that it's going to snap back. Okay.
It's this image. This image here.
That's Kali.
Huh?
Or that, no, it's Shiva.
This is the image, or is pretty darn close to the image to what the stupid statue crap at CERN is. When y'all posted that in the chat there for us, that one.
Oh, he did
really close to the. No, this looks really close to the image or the statue that's outside at CERN. Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Let me do this. Make sure. Bear with us, y'all.
This is what we do. We're like, what? Okay, so.
Yeah, that's it. It's pretty daggum close if it's not. Huh?
I think that's Kali.
Hang on. This. Look.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the same thing as that.
Yes.
So that's at CERN.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the crap that is. I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. So
freaky weird.
Let's see. Let me get.
Why I just clicked on that. Something's up with this place, y'all. Just for what it's worth. It's not normal.
Okay, well, that's Kali. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Actually. Kali is a Hindu god, or goddess, I should say.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a Hindu goddess, and Kali or Kalika, it's a Hindu goddess associated with time, doomsday, and death in Shaktiism. Kali is the first of the 10 Mahavidas in the Hindu tantric tradition.
Interesting.
Okay, so it has to, yeah, she has to do with time. All right, and so that's what I'm reading here. So, oh, stop that. Yeah, time, doomsday, and death in Shaktiism. And so, let's see what else we can find. Kali's earliest appearances when she emerged from Durga. The goddess is stated to destroy evil. Oh, interesting. The goddess is stated to destroy evil in order to defend the innocent. Over time, Kali has been worshipped by devotional movements and tantric sects variously as the divine mother, mother of the universal, principal energy Adi Shakti. Oh, because that's a meditation, Adi Shakti, Omo. Shakta, Hindu, and tantric sects additionally worship her as the ultimate reality, or Brahman. She is also seen as the divine protector and the one who bestows moksha, or liberation. Worshipped throughout India, but particularly in Kashmir, South India, Bengal, and Assam, Kali is both geographically and culturally marginal. So, that's interesting that they put it at CERN.
It is very weird.
Okay, so there's some very... This is getting more and more interesting.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's there. Whenever you were like, hey, I saw it. I was like, what is that? That's what he grabbed initially.
Right, because in there, on one of the images, the one previous to this, they actually crossed Kali out.
Oh, it is crossed out.
Mm-hmm.
I see
And
that there. Interesting.
so, yeah, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. But Kali, in one of the many forms, what is being crossed out? Because Brahmin and Hindu and Christianity have a lot of similarities.
Almost like it was historically set up to be in different languages, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Or different, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it gets fascinating. So that one, the one image previous to this one on the US deck clock, had to do with CERN and them, messing with it and creating, holes, wormholes in reality. And they're like, isn't that a bad idea? I was like, no, what could go wrong?
Oh, the one that's right now, the one that's there right now.
No, the one that's there now, it has to do with Nostradamus.
Yeah, hang on.
The one was previous to this one.
I don't see that one there. Hang on. This one?
Yeah, that one's Nostradamus. So the CERN one, I thought our friend had captured, and I thought I did too, but I guess I didn't.
Maybe not.
No, they had the one on outcome-based elections.
Yeah.
And
no, I don't see that one.
That one you gotta go scroll up in our conversation.
No, I see that one. The outcome-based. I see that one.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I thought I grabbed the one about CERN, and I didn't. So, boo.
No problem. Anyways.
So this one, okay, we're squirreling. Sorry, guys. So now this one goes into Nostradamus. And as we see, did any of your quatrains refer to the modern world? Many, many. I wrote them to warn you about the future. I know, it's just that they're hard to interpret. Can you give me a new one that I can understand? Quatrain 666. From the new land comes madness by decree. The dark state congeals. What does this mean? And its war on does this mean America and its war on insanity? Or war on sanity? I've been dealing with the insanity.
We're all dealing with the insanity, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
And then it goes quatrain 10-33. The empire cracks, the money deflates, the guilty conceal. I'm sure of it. You mean America right here and now. Is there any hope for the future? Quatrain 888. The nation will heal when all will kneel, the kingdom restored with new money as a reward. Which now,
so scripturally speaking, humble yourself. If my people would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways and pray, then I will heal their land. What's the stupid thing? Hang on.
It's there again. Did you see it?
No, hang on. I'll go back to it.
The thumbs up came up again while you were trying to say the Bible verse.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I was like, oh my God, it's there again.
I'm not doing.
Okay, I know.
I have. There are no hotkeys that I'm aware of to do that. I don't even think. Are there hotkeys for this?
No. That's why I'm like, what is. That's why I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so we're getting some interesting things here.
No kidding. Hang on. Let me just read this real quick. This one. When I shut the heavens so that there is no rain, or command the locusts to devour the land and send pestilence among my people, if my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. Now my eyes will be open and my ears attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. Interesting. We'll kneel. I'm pretty daggum sure that is what that is talking about.
Now this ties into the whole International Treasury Monetary One.
Yeah.
Now what's interesting,
debt-free currency right here.
Because you're not buying and selling debt. You are actually living under God's command of that to owe no man nothing but to love him.
Which is what these guys are all about. And the fact that they're coming in, Y'all, you need to understand. Go read the Order of the Knights, the English right here.
Mm-hmm.
Go read this. It's a lot. It's decent amount. It's an actual legit document. Okay. I'm honestly not all the way through it yet. For what it's worth, it's
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to consume, and it's a lot to understand.
Well, and it's written
knowing
in a
their
way.
History, y'all.
Mm-hmm. It's written in a way that the population has been conditioned out of reading.
Right. Not like that. Y'all need to understand. Go look at that. You've got to recognize these people, the Knights of the Hospitallers, the Knights Templars. They were historically set up. I don't even remember who it was, but it was not like a secret society or whatever. They were really open about what they were doing. They were set up initially, and then throughout until their attempted demise by France. It was not successful, obviously. To protect the global economy and monetary systems, and it was all supposed to always be God's money, gold and silver. However form that took, and whatever modern day now we're looking at, it could simply be a cryptocurrency or a digital. It's all going to be digital, and the only physical will be the gold and silver coin, in my opinion. I mean, it may not be. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
but
we're being shown a gold treasury note because they were easier to carry and they were payable to the bearer.
Right. Now you can just, there's a phone and you can build the automation with the smart contracts. I mean, they didn't say no. They've covered it in some of these documents. They've not said no to it.
Right. But the concern is that, as Sabrina's talking about, how they've hijacked that body part that people don't want to talk about.
Actually try and use it to communicate.
Because it's not
communicate, but that. Okay, we'll go back to that. You can jump into there.
We're going to go. Sabrina, this one's for you, honey. Right here, the subtle body. All right.
I haven't seen her join, but if she does, great.
If somebody sees this video on X, send it to her.
Yeah.
Okay? This one's for her.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Have fun with it.
So, oh, wow. There's even stuff here from Minneapolis. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh my God. It's like, really, you guys are all just a bunch. Okay. So this goes into one section here. Some researchers believe that sound governs the growth of the body. As Dr. Michael Isaacson and Scott Klimek teach in a sound healing class at Normandale College in Minneapolis, Dr. Alfred Tomatis believes that the ear's first in utero function is to establish the growth of the rest of the body. Sound apparently feeds the electrical impulses that charge the neocortex. High frequency sounds energize the brain, creating what Tomatis calls charging sounds. All right. Sabrina goes into a lot of these other things, but we're going to help you all tie this together because it does play into some of this blockchain stuff.
I was going to say there's a patent. I forget who took it out. I actually kind of think if memory serves me correctly, and y'all keep me honest here, that it was Gates or something about the Gates Foundation that pulled a patent on mining cryptocurrency with the human body. Guys, we've had cell phones for a long time. We now have Wi-Fi in our houses. You have these different frequencies that are there. Yes, it's a convenience to do certain things. At what cost?
Exactly.
Okay, we've got this whole 5G baloney coming out, and you've heard Cliff High talk about how he goes into the actual science and actual 5G and how it's very short distance. There you go. Guys, Sharon has a library of books that cannot be found.
Bill Gates, Business at the Speed of Thought. You don't think that they've been playing this? Let's see when this book was published. When was this book published?
The real Gates is gone, by the way, y'all. But anyways, we'll leave that one alone for right now.
This was published in 1999. Business at the Speed of Thought. using a digital nervous system. 1999. So Sabrina, yeah, honey, boy, do I got some books. All right. So yeah.
Maybe we can get you guys connected. That'd be fun. Maybe she can come on the show or something. That'd be fun too. Just let you guys just disappear in the shadows.
Right. So, well, I'll continue.
Yep, go ahead.
Low frequency sounds drain energy, and high frequency sounds attract energy. Throughout all of life, sound regulates the sending and receiving of energy, even to the point of creating problems.
Yeah, we've ever heard that. Like all of a sudden the crowd freaking destroys Portland for some stupid reason, right?
Oh,
yeah, right.
That was just a freak of nature.
Yeah, no, of course not.
People with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder listen too much with their bodies, processing sound through their bone conduction rather than their ears. Now, Sabrina goes into they're using the tissues of your body. Okay.
I could see that. I mean, I don't have ADHD. I have ADD. I think, I don't remember. Whatever it is. I don't remember. But
basically,
my brain, like I can do everything's backwards. And I can do things like 10, 20 times faster than most people. And if I don't do it that fast, I can't do it. But everyone's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? Keep up. Anyways.
It's just a different way of processing that.
It is. But the fact that they're actually tapping into that stuff is kind of concerning.
It's creepy. Okay, so they're literally too high in sound. So they have too much sound because it's rattling their bones, basically.
I can relate to that.
So some scientists go a step further and suggest that sound not only affects the body, but also the DNA, actually stimulating the DNA to create information signals that spread throughout the body.
I can completely agree with that.
Okay.
Be like this. I will be sitting there standing up server infrastructure. I will have a technical document being read to me by the computer in the background instead of listening to music like most people would. And I'm capturing everything that document is saying while accomplishing a very complex task. That I get. That connects. That I get that. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. Harvard-trained Dr. Leonard Horowitz has actually demonstrated that DNA emits and receives phonons and photons, the electromagnetic waves of sound and light. As well, 3 Nobel laureates in medical research have asserted that the primary function of DNA is not to synthesize proteins, but to perform bioacoustic and bioelectric signaling. So your body, the wireless body area network, your medical body area network, your internet of behaviors, internet of bodies. I mean, we can keep going.
You keep talking about this. I mean, I mentioned this before we even started here, right? If you've ever, tell you what, since you're watching this, whenever y'all are watching this, if you've ever built a computer, drop a comment saying with a period or just like a dot or something, just like that you've done it, or 01 or whatever. Or in the live chat, because I let the live chats run. Drop it in there and say that you have or have not. If you have, you'll understand. When you put a computer together, you got the motherboard, you got the processor, you got the RAM, you've got the hard drive, you've got the power supply, you've got all these other different components that are on the motherboard, you got all the different components that are inside the entire unit. Your body isn't far different. God created your body. If you think about your physical being, it is carbon, it is all these things, and it is miraculously built and everything. But if you get down to it, there is some sort of technological features to it. You got memory, hard drive, memory, short memory, long-term memory. Stupid computer. You got your processor, your brain. The only thing I think the soul, I guess, would be like the operating system.
That's the internet.
Or the internet. The internet would be the internet would be the communication between souls.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So the back and forth, the communication, verbal, input, output, mouse and keyboard.
Well, and you
eyes,
got ports.
Ears. Yeah, right.
Ports or portals. I mean,
yeah.
My grandmother would tell me as a little girl, you got to keep this going. They're modeling computers after us, and I'm kind of thinking, what if we're modeling,
Yeah,
what if
the other way around.
it's the other way? Is that, life imitates art or art imitates life?
So if you think about it from that perspective, you just kind of wonder, like, just to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. And now we're about to cross another technological boundary that I don't know if we should or not when it comes to this whole AI stuff. Now, AI is input-output. It is garbage in, garbage out. Okay? You put garbage in, it's going to learn how it's going to do this stuff. The only way it learns is by a machine learning algorithm. That algorithm is garbage in, garbage out. So whoever builds it is the master of it. So it works until there's no sentient being out there, because a soul cannot enter a computer. However,
it will want to self-actualize. That's where you get the movies like Ex Machina. You have the movie Chappie. That's what the whole basis of Battlestar Galactica.
Right. There are ways to destroy it by simply asking 3 or 4 questions. It will destroy itself on its own. So you just have to get it to that point. But anyways, I'll digress on that.
Well, we're looking at this. We'll continue here, and then we'll go into our other little squirreling session.
Yep.
Well, research such as that by Dr. Pop, which I have some of his books, shows that DNA is a biophoton emitter. Other research suggests that sound actually originates light. In a paper entitled A Holographic Concept of Reality, which was featured in Stanley Krippner's book, Psychoenergetic Systems, a team of researchers led by Richard Miller showed that superposed coherent waves in the cells interact and form patterns through sound, and secondly through light. So that's where cymatics comes in. So you have these sounds and they start to form. But this goes into the whole thing, like we were taught in esogetic color puncture, that how we got here is that we have a psionic net. So there's ether, and then we come from ether and we compress in with our information systems.
The space between space. I like to call it space between space, or ether.
Right.
And that's what Nikola Tesla called it, space between space. And it's highly energetic. Okay, that's where do you think he got the whole wireless technology? The wireless technology comes from an emission or a signal being sent from an energy source and a receiving energy source looking for that exact signal, right? But the way Nikola Tesla said it is that it's all encompassing. This goes back to the whole quantum computing, quantum ability stuff. It's everywhere and yet nowhere, because it is space between space. It is so energetic. The universe is this way. Your body is this way. Everything around you is this way. You look. This is my son. He's really into the different science stuff now. He's like your desk isn't still, Dad. It's moving. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, if you look at it under a magnifying microscope or whatever, you would see the photons and the protons moving, and that. I'm like, yep, you would. It's not sitting still. It's holding itself together because God said that substance stays there. And then we started talking about nanotechnology and all this other stuff. But I'll digress. Sorry.
No, that's all right, because it gets into nanoplasmatics. And this is where, like we were talking about, you come into the gray fields, and then the gray fields are forming the information that is you, the divine blueprint. And then as things start coming into, there's a transmitter relays, you have the chakra systems, you have the coordination fields, and all of this starts to come in and get compressed into physical form. And so in color puncture, we address some of those imbalances because the information did not get put where it should properly. However, we're looking at, in color puncture, which is using light and sound and sacred geometry, we're looking at circuitries, and Sabrina shows these in a couple of her videos, one of her videos, and she's like, oh, does this look familiar? I'm like, yeah, it's the Kabbalah. It's the Tree of Life, which is a schematic. Then
I've heard people mention that, like the way the spinal cord is and everything. It's all
a schematic. And so we work with the different areas of that, because like in one, it's Yesod, that's where all the pictures are held of all your memories. And so it is a system. And then there's another schematic. And so all of these ancient symbols that are like, ooh, this is satanic, and oh, this is Crowley, and oh, this is that. It was like, people,
you're going to end up touching it. Yeah. But
let's go to the adult table and have a conversation.
Sure.
Oh, we can't. It was like, I'm with Sabrina. There's no beliefs. These are structures. This is a body part. This is electrical. This is a
If you
system.
get down to it, if you think about electrical grids, you think that's what that is.
Mhm.
But it is a yes, you'll tap into different realms doing that because it's all connected. Yes, there is good, and guess what? There is evil. God is real, just like Satan is real. It's people worship Satan and they refuse to worship God. It's like you're stupid if you're going to worship the evil one. I mean, not to be rude or anything, but like you come back to it, like you're talking about the whole schematic. God created that.
Well, so let's go back to the both and, because it's a paradox. Remember, we'll call him the all God, all creator, all heaven,
like
prime creator, whatever you want to call him. Okay. Remember, God created Mephistopheles. He created Lucifer, whatever name you want to give him. God created him.
All of it.
Okay. So he is still sovereign. So here 100%. Is the game of the gods. All right.
Which was an odd concept to me for what it's worth. When I first saw that, I was kind of like, really? But I could see that because the way Satan came to no, it wasn't Satan. God said, "Look at my servant Job." It was almost when you saw that when we were reading through that a couple weeks ago, Game of the Gods, and tonight I was kind of like this again. Was that what that was? I mean,
well, here's another brain bender.
Because it's just like, yeah, exactly. It is a brain bender. You read the Book of Job; it's supposed to be the oldest book in the Bible because Enoch's not in it, but at least it isn't publicly. But anyhow, you you look at it and you kind of go, why? You don't, and you can't really kind of. I mean, you can question to ask why for learning. You can't really question for, I don't know. I feel like you question God to learn. You don't question God. What are you doing? How can the clay say to the potter, "What are you doing?" Right? But anyways, I digress.
Well, unless you want to learn, like, what are you doing that for? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just spinning this clay around and doing all this. It's like,
I said, from a learning experience, yes, but not like, what are you doing? How dare you?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, I mean, okay, so we're gonna just bend everybody's brain a little more.
Yep. We like here.
I know. So I was going through because I had to look for some things in my archive, if you will. And I came across this document and I was like, oh, this is interesting because things were going on. And I was like,
you just randomly found this. This is another divine appointment.
I know. It was really weird. And so this person is very similar to Esther Hicks, and there's Abraham Hicks. And
I know the name. I don't know much about him, y'all.
So, yeah. So a lot of people are familiar with Esther and Abraham. Jerry is her husband. So I find this document and I started reading. I was like, well, isn't this fascinating? So it's dated August 19th, 2017.
Okay.
To Alexandra. Okay. I'm contacting is the person. Okay, so Alexandra is like the person, much like Esther. So she's like Esther, and so.
Okay, just for context, let's try to pull that out. Yep.
Prime creators like, nope, I'm going to talk through you, much like Abraham talked through Esther.
Yeah, or there were people in the Bible that received the prophets. They received a word from the Lord. Thus says the Lord. This is very similar to that.
So, yeah, so this is from one of my mentors who transcribed, this for Alexandra.
Okay.
So I am contacting you today with my final message to my children of Earth. First, I want to say I've never allowed anyone to channel me, nor have I relayed any of these direct messages from me to you other than through Alexandra. I designated her to be the receiver of my messages to give to my children. All other impersonators of your game with the purpose to deceive you in keeping the game going. Now I'm providing my final message to my children of this world. It is time to bring you home after thousands of millennia. One of my children has found her way out of the maze within the simulator of a virtual reality of which you all participated in. Now, what's interesting with that statement?
Wow.
The books in Terra Infinita, it's a female that's found her way and it was like coming back saying, my father flew out, we escaped from here. And I was like, This is too weird.
I still haven't had a chance to read that, and it's so thin. I just haven't had a second.
It's a super easy read, but Terra Infinita, I was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Is there multiple books or just the one?
Oh, there's multiple. So they're just kind of letting things out a little bit of time, because talk about bending light and not being seen in the celestial realms. I mean, the whole thing is just like,
I mean, talk about the ice wall. I mean, okay, but there's gates. Okay, that's in the Book of Enoch. Okay, but this other stuff is. Are there other? Well, Enoch talks about other realms and portals, and
oh, and so does Terra Infinita. Yeah. Okay, so it gets really interesting. One of my children has found her way out of the maze within the simulator of a virtual reality which you all participated in. Your thoughts, both individually and collectively, created your reality. When you fully comprehend this message, you may feel upset, speechless, finding no words to describe how this makes you feel, that you are literally in a destructive computer game that you all created.
Tron.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, that too.
Okay. Your reality started in a classroom where a group of children thought it would be great to play a game inside the simulator of virtual reality of hide and seek. The children's desire was to hide so well that I would never find them. This is how your history and your reality were created and where you are now. I do believe you are all calling it Team Dark and Team Light. Oh, the white hats. Oh, the black hats. White hats, black hats, white hats.
Yeah.
Red, blue. Oh, I don't
know. Yeah, red, blue.
Like, no, it's both and. Okay, how about that?
That's funny.
Oh, okay. My God. I am here to give you notice that this insanity will come to an end, as I will be bringing my children home soon. All will have full comprehension and understanding of their participation in this game, as well as the harm they have caused themselves and others. All will receive full comprehension and understanding of the choices that were made and how these choices ultimately created your life experiences, lifetime after lifetime, within an ongoing time loop you all created. Let's look at what you believe to be your truth, but is actually your life in a simulator of virtual reality and only exists within that simulator. The following list presents all the sorts of things you created within the simulated reality that are not true and do not exist.
So before you do that, real quick, a lot of humanity was coerced into this. What if this is in fact a true reality, a true statement, if this is in fact that, right? Mm-hmm. It would have been straight up coercion and deception for the vast majority of humanity, because there's the few, as they're called, the puppet masters, the nosebleed, whatever. Whereas I like to call it the blimpy who's is sitting way up high, looking over the whole thing. Are the angels that Enoch talks about. They came here. This is their prison. I still think they're the actual puppet masters. And the puppet masters of the puppet masters of the puppet masters. We've been deceived or coerced.
Well, what if? Here's a what if, kind of like, because it says, your reality started in a classroom where a group of children thought it would be great to play a game inside the simulator of virtual reality of hide and seek. The children's desire to hide so well that I would never find them.
So you're talking about like prior to this, like the whole Tartaria, like before all that stuff.
Yes. Now this
technology was so far advanced that we're not even advanced here right now.
Right. So this how I found this mentor was they had like this crystal show, and a friend and I walked in. It was kind of like not too far. And it was like, well, this is an interesting place to have crystals brought up from Brazil. Okay, this is cool. And when I walked in, the gal, that's when she looked at me. She goes, we've been waiting for you. And my friend looked at me. She's like, what? And this pain really started. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then she told me, she's like, yeah, there's only one more left that we're looking for. You were there.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Okay. So I've had that happen with other mentors that are like, we've been waiting for you. I was like, oh, great. So we'll finish all this, but this starts to get into this loop which now would kind of allude to what Breshears is talking about as also part of a possibility. Okay, so we have to hold everything in possibility.
I was going to say, you can't, the only absolutes is that you will die, etc., and that you were created by your creator.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is possibility. That's where the whole people, like even in the like the different Christian denominations and stuff that I've dealt with, they're like, you know, what about sovereign will or not sovereign will,
free will?
Free will, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always held the personal belief of your choices between God's sovereign will and His perfect will for your life. Perfect will is going to be hunky dory, blah blah blah. Sovereign will is you're still going to get to the point you're supposed to go. You're just going to go and learn all these lessons along the way. And it's one of those two choices. That's your free choice. That's it. And it's one of those things where people, when they grasp that concept, it's like we're talking about here. It's a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah. Sorry.
So let's see. Your lifetime, an ongoing time loop. Let's look at what you believe so that do not exist. All hierarchy, beings, and systems. Now, these are the things that are not true and do not exist. All
hierarchies.
All hierarchy, beings, and systems.
So, examples. Does it give examples?
Like, well, all hierarchy beings, meaning kings and queens and things that are above you. You are all God's children.
Everyone's equal. There's no ruler. So that was what, like in the Bible, when the Israelites were like, "We want a king," and God's like, "Why?
I am white."
It's like, it's like, "Oh, here you go. You're stupid. Here, let's learn your lesson. The sovereign will."
There you go. You are sovereign. You are sovereign.
God's sovereign. The people chose God's sovereign will for your life. Like His, I don't want a predestination. Like you are going to do. He created everything. Why wouldn't He know what the outcome is going to be? Right. At the end of the day, you're going to go one way or the other. That's it. You're going to pick one or the other. He's going to let you choose. You're going to have a great time, or you're going to learn a lot along the way. But anyways.
Well, that's that whole Bible verse, thy rod and thy staff comfort me.
Right.
So you're either going to get clubbed over the head or you're going to get picked up out of the river.
Yes. Psalm 23. Yes. Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So all hierarchy, beings, and systems. Okay. So that's governmental systems. That's corporate systems. Okay. Dimensions, heavens, rules, regulations, laws, justice, lies, deception, distrust, inability to have discernment, the sleight of hand scenarios, etc. And all that you know that you believe to be true in your reality does not exist. You are done with your simulated virtual reality where you created the hunt and find routine, or to be hunted by others, to have perpetual lack of what you need and want, consistently limiting yourself and others, segmenting yourselves into have and have nots, ascending to a higher dimension of where you never created an exit plan. So it was like they wanted to play hide and seek and they really effed it up like really bad. This is like FUBARD.
Yeah, they wow.
It's FUBARD.
Okay. So somebody's gonna so just listening to you talk about, like, they created all these different things, and like the program is designed in certain ways. It's almost like another developer's got to come in and edit the code and then push to main branch again.
It's really interesting. So, all right. So they didn't have an exit plan.
That's what I feel is coming.
You are the creators of Groundhog Day. So you are the creators of Groundhog Day. I was like, no shit. This is what happened here. Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. It's kind of like Quantum Leap. Please, can I just leap out of here? Oh my God. Living in a time loop over and over and over again, experiencing the same themes of pain and suffering over and over again, but expecting a different outcome. This
insanity.
This also creates all the stories you know of today in your reality, such as, what does Ingersoll Lockwood like to reference? Alice in Wonderland. where she goes down the rabbit hole with no way out. Movies such as The Matrix, The Ghost in the Shell, The Circle, and Groundhog Day all reveal the house of mirrors, mazes, and wheels within wheels of perpetual motion you all created, causing you to go deeper and deeper into your rabbit hole of your virtual reality, which you all created. These things also created polarity, duality, dark matter with substance, and separation of self. You also fractured yourselves and others through all the geometric shapes, which creates more separation within yourself. This is in turn created multi-layering within and without, an all-encompassing quantum entanglement of yourself with others and everything that ever exists in your reality. All of you have created quite a quagmire of complexities, which may coin as a huge cluster.
Yep.
Okay, so there you go. The bottom line is, do you know how to get out of this virtual reality game? At this point, there are 350,000 quadrillion sectors times 1,000.
Time out. You just said that, and then what was this? Hang on. Where did it go? All right, my mouse thinks it's funny to not work right now.
I'm waiting for another thumbs up or something.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, oh, where did the daggum thing go? Hang on. The Nostradamus image.
Yes.
That when he talks. Okay, here, let me show it again.
The deck clock. Mm-hmm.
Not yes, but let me show the image again. Oh, wrong button. Let's go here and where did it crap? Okay, there it is. All right, so this here quadrants. These are quadrants.
They're quatrains.
Quatrains.
Okay.
So whatever that is, you're talking about this here. Like you just mentioned. What? Read that part again.
Okay, so a quatrain is like a verse. They call them quatrains.
Understood, but it's a section somewhere, right?
Okay, at this point there are 350,000 quadrillion. That's a number. Sectors times 1,000. So these are sectors like, dimensions and sectors. There's all these different areas. So think of like a game like Clash of Clans or Clash of Kings, and they have like the grid work. Yeah. There's different sectors or different worlds.
Yeah.
Times 1,000. So basically we created, so the collective reality and all of this in the game of so-called hide and seek has created, just like you said, a ginormous cluster.
Mm-hmm. The FUBAR.
And dimensions within dimensions that do not exist. Space within space with openings into another space. It is much like a Russian doll effect. I'm here today to give you notice that your game is done. I have found all of you, and all final plans are being made to bring you all home. You all will take full responsibility for all that you have created, all that you have harmed, and and you will have full comprehension and understanding of all the choices you made that you created to the fullest extent. This will be done before moving on to anything else. Your choices triggered an event that only took a millisecond to transpire, was contained by me in a millisecond, and existed in my space for approximately 30 years. Now remember, 1,000 years is a day is 1,000 years. So what?
That's what you're saying. I was about to say it. God, to God, a day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. And you're saying a millisecond?
A millisecond is approximately 30 years.
Yeah.
A millisecond.
Wow. Okay.
And remember, I am where time does not exist. In your reality, you have spent 350,000 quadrillion years looping in this experience. It has taken me 30 years to help you figure out how to get out of your own game. Note that this did not create any spiritual growth. I would essentially call this experience a severe lesson of hard knocks. This virtual reality game stopped all things Yeah, this virtual reality game stopped all things in their tracks, where nothing new has been created since this happened. I've spent my time helping you to find your way out of what you all created. I have never left you, and I've never stopped loving you. Your return home will be welcomed with open arms, with love and gratitude for all I have learned from you that I didn't believe could ever exist in someone. Love, Prime Creator, Sector of Creation. Love number 5.
Huh.
And then you tie that in with the Monetary One, Game of the Gods.
Yeah.
And so
and
here
look at Job, and it's like, okay.
We've got, and Bashir's is talking about the simulation, and people are like, what? And then we have like this, all this other shenanigans going on. Down is up is down.
Yeah.
And
that's an interesting picture, I guess would be a good way to say it, of what feels like transpiring. And be like everyone keeps saying who's in the different circles, it's an amazing time to be alive, to be able to witness, if it happens in our lifetimes. It sounds like it's going to. It looks like it's going to. It's probably going to happen within the next few weeks, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt in our lifetimes. Interesting time to be alive.
It is. And
it might also be terrifying, but at the same time, y'all just remember to hold on to your foundations and trust the Lord that he knows what he's doing. And at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. We all will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't create us to throw us away.
No, but we do have to kind of clean up this mess that got created. So it's like,
yeah, whatever happened, whoever the game players were that created whatever's happening, that was not cool. This is not cool. Just
no. And Sabrina's really showing a lot about what is going on, how they hijacked that body part that God gave you that is yours.
It's in your DNA. Is it not?
It's everything.
It's the aura, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of you, but it's not. It is physical yet not. It's
your subtle, as the book says, it's the subtle energy. There it is again. It's telling us.
I'm not doing it. What is this? I wonder if I can stay here for long enough. There it goes. Yeah, maybe it's a hand motion. I don't know. What?
I think that we have something helping us.
I don't know. I wonder if I can get it to do the fireworks things again. I need to look into this. Is this a feature of this? I mean, if I do it again, let's see. What does it do?
Oh my God. Yeah, but you weren't giving it a thumbs up before.
Doing a thumbs up. No, maybe I was. I don't know. Maybe it looked like I was. I don't know.
See, it's only working on your screen.
Like, hold it there for a second. Maybe it'll work on yours. I don't know. That's weird. Let's see if it does it to you. I don't know.
No.
That's weird.
I think it's because you initiated the StreamYard. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do it again.
Whatever. I don't know. I always... Okay. All right. I need to look in. Is it features that they're doing?
I don't know. Because when this happened before, you weren't doing hand motions or anything.
No, I don't know of any. Like, I'm looking here at the settings. Like,
oh my God. It's the Wireless Body Area Network.
Right. I am doing something fireworks. Go.
Okay, yeah. Or somebody, like Sabrina says, somebody's sitting there with their cell phone and they're just hitting buttons. They're gonna mess with us here.
You know what? That's not cool.
Well, anyway, it's this book, The Subtle Body, and it really goes into it's basically your energetic anatomy. We have an energy body, and we go into that.
We have an anatomy, physical anatomy. There's also an energy anatomy. People don't realize that you have that. You have a light anatomy as well that people don't understand, and I think that goes into the energy, right?
Yes,
light is an energy technically.
Yes, so that would be like Barbara Brennan's work, Hands of Light, Light Emerging, and she has a healing institute that works with that. But all of this, and that's why you have this. She's pointing out there are people that are doing nefarious things with that body part that they said never existed. Oh, you're crazy. Chakras? Oh, you must be one of those nut jobs that likes to do all that chakra balancing.
Sure. I've never done anything with it personally. I know people who have and have been better for it every single time. And it's kind of like, well,
well, that's what we do at our clinic. Yeah. So we work with the whole, we have to look at your energetic anatomy because we have a camera that does an energetic emissions analysis. So it's a Kirlian camera. And so we can see where the imbalances are in the body. And then we start helping them with it. And sometimes it's amazing because you can take a picture before and you start dialoguing with them and help them work through a trauma. It will completely shift their field. And then their emissions will show up different.
That's pretty cool.
It's super awesome, especially people dealing with PTSD and things like that.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
But now you take that and they hijacked it and they're doing things to mess with this. And that's why we're seeing people with all kinds of, like this book talks about, there's too much frequency and people's bones are resonating. They're too high on sound.
It's a tuning fork, y'all. Your bones are technically a tuning fork. Like it will, there's a reason why, not to get into the gross details, but if you burn a body, the bones don't go away. There's a reason. There's a reason they don't go away.
And they have a resonance when you play them, in the bones.
It's not a joke. They don't burn. God built them that way. There's a reason. There's a reason whenever he talks about, was it when he was resurrected from the dead, there were countless people who rose from the dead as well. And I did not do anything. Put my hands down here. Just gonna put my hands.
But you had your hands down there last time, and it still did stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. It's weird. Okay. Maybe there's some features in here that I don't know what it is, but we're going to play along. I was trying to say that the bones are meant, even if you burn the body, like if you cremate the body, if I'm not mistaken, the bones still have to be discarded.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We got a crematorium not far from my office. So I was like, hey, what do you do with the bones? Do they actually turn to ash, or do you have to like do something to them? Or
you could find out, I guess. I don't know. I don't have one nearby. I have a buddy who went into that for a living, which is kind of odd. He's like, the only sure thing is death. And I was like, to go set up a funeral home? He's like, yeah, I'll make money. And I was like, okay. He's like, whatever, buddy. Anyways.
Well, and like Bashir says, we're just exiting this avatar and then we go get another avatar. It's like Battlestar Galactica. He's just like,
another computer, I guess is the way to look at it.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, is upload your consciousness.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried that for years. I don't know if that's going to,
according to Sabrina, I think it's close, or if they haven't done it already, because they got you jacked into the cloud.
I'm sure they do. We're sitting at almost a little over an hour and a half. So
we gotta run
for the sake of being able to push this out. We're going to have to go ahead and pull it there. So, Jared, as always, thank you for being on. Thank you for the content that you keep bringing through. And at the end of the day, this wouldn't really be happening. I mean, no, it really wouldn't be happening without you. So,
well, it's a lot of fun. I mean, my goodness.
I enjoy it a lot. There's a lot of stuff. I'm learning a lot. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that people are getting out of this whole discussion at the end of the day, and I think it's a lot of fun. So
awesome. All right, everybody.
I'll be right back for you, and you guys have an amazing, blessed rest of the day, and take it easy. Talk to you soon. Let me push the right button. Hang on. I'm sorry. It's been a week. Give me a break. All right. See you in a minute. Bye.
Bye.